inside a presidential election tribunal. It don't end. So we are very close to the judgment, so that we will know who is the legitimate winner of the February 25th presidential election inside Nigeria. We are very close to that place. There are 5 stages to knowing who win this election inside court. We don't pass the first stage, will be pre-hearing. We don't pass the second stage, will be trial, where you guys bring in your witness, tender documents, and others. We don't pass that level. Now we are entering adoption of addresses. From adoption of addresses, we go enter final addresses, and then boom, judgment go surface. So we are on track. We are getting there small. Not be small thing inside. This is happened inside court yesterday. Tinubu carry a star witness come. Of course, make I even tell you that this one. The respondents will be INEC, Tinubu, APC. They are all supposed to respond to all the things where what do they call these people? People will carry them come court now. Labour Party and PDP. They're supposed to respond to all the things where they don't tender for court, both their witnesses and their documents. And why do they call them respondents? Now, a Labour Party case, INEC carry one star witness come. I told on yesterday, saying the guy, he no fit read their own result. I told on yesterday now. APC. Tinubu carry his own call yesterday. He own star witness, and he own star witness now no other person but Senator Dele. Now the current Senate leader inside that one 10th Senate now. The guy enter court yesterday. Talk say the drug allegation on top Tinubu. Say look, he only forfeited $450,000 that he was not convicted for any crime, but that he only forfeited $450,000. That was his argument. The way all these people take they talk all these guys, they don't get shit. Same person forfeit $450,000. Say, not only forfeit, he was never convicted for the crime. It's all right. At least Tinubu try bring a witness. APC no bring any witness. They no get witness at all. And these 3 people, they don't close their case. APC don't close in case. INEC don't close in case. Tinubu don't close in case. Cases where we say Labour Party take like how many weeks? I've been 2 weeks. Tender evidence, tender witnesses, tender documents. These ones, they just close their own case under 1 day. So they responded to everything we Labour Party talk. In 1 day, what does that tell you? They don't have anything to say. Make I play the video of Labour Party counsel. When I mean counsel, I mean their lawyers. He gave it their lead lawyer talk. The name na Livy Uzuku, senior advocate of Nigeria. Him carry a paper come address the press yesterday. I beg, make you help me listen to what this guy talk. I'm gonna watch.
Well, we thank God that this case has successfully come to successfully completed the hearing today, and the next stage is for us to go into writing of addresses. Well, you must have, I'm sure that you know that INEC called 1 witness, closed their case. 2nd and 3rd respondents called 1, closed their case. APC had no courage to call any, and they closed their case. The witness for the 2nd and 3rd, the only thing I can say, I encourage you people, look for his deposition, place it side by side with the cross-examination. You make up your minds and find out whether the 2 of them are consistent. I don't want to go further into that. You can do the investigation. So I can tell you that we are happy the way and manner the hearing ended. We are very ready to react to the addresses of the respondents which they must file in the next 10 days from today. Thereafter, we will file our reply. Thank you. God bless you all.
Leaving Ooooooo, senior advocate of Nigeria, talking South video, say, look, trial is over. So we are going to prepare our addresses. Of course, una don't say, as this trial now don't end, everybody don't close their own case. You understand? What do they call them? The respondents go to their own address. They have they send 10 days to do their own address. Then people will carry them come with the Labour Party go do their own address to respond to these people their own address in 7 days. Then after the 7 days, they will come get 5 days to do their final addresses, and then final judgment. When I also hear inside that video where they tell us say you say we dey inside court to hear wetin the witness for Tinubu talk. Say we go shake our head. Say they cross-examine this guy, nothing come outside. He dey talk say he only forfeited $450,000 that he was never convicted for drug offense. So the money wey him forfeit na for wetin? People go just dey talk. I don't know whether it's alright. It's alright. He gets one person wey I respect a lot. Wetin this guy yarn? I say I go carry am come tell una, table am before una today. I am talking of no other person but Dele Farotimi. He prefer to call himself a retired lawyer. He say he no dey practice again. Say him don retire. Say this thing is the common God. The court is the common hope. Is the hope of the common man. Say him no believe in that shit. Say him he don retire from acting service as a lawyer. Now him talk some kind things wey I say I go tell una on top this place. Him say, look, during the election, everything worked. Everything worked from A to Z. Everything worked except one thing. And that one thing that did not work is not Bivaso, but INEC. INEC sabotaged the election. I beg, help me listen to this retired lawyer, Dele Farotimi. He is also the spokesperson of the Ooooooo movement. Watch.
Everything worked except INEC.
Okay, so when you say everything worked except INEC, yes. What exactly do you mean by that?
Okay. I wasn't just speaking to the election. I participated. I was at the polling unit as designated. The beavers machine worked as much as it was allowed to work by human machinations. Because at my own polling booth, they first said, oh, some alphabets were not working, so they couldn't accredit those on time. We later realized that it was designed to frustrate some people into leaving. But people were determined to vote, so they waited. Eventually, in my place, they allowed the beavers machine to accredit those they had earlier left out. Voting did not end in my polling unit until about 8:40 something in the evening, and they did not finish counting until about 1:42 or 1:43 a.m.
That's the following day?
Yes.
Is this isolated in your area, or was this what it was common around where you have friends, or what your party, for example?
It would be unfair to everybody concerned, including myself, for me to speak to what is outside my direct knowledge and participation. I am speaking to what I saw. How many of those incidents you might find all over the country will be left to observers to say or speak to? But on the day in question, everything worked in my own space until it came to upload. And then they could upload House of Reps, they could upload Senate, but the presidential election result was not amenable to upload.
To your mind, what do you think went wrong?
It is very clear what went wrong. INEC deliberately, and I say this without any equivocation and with all sense of responsibility, INEC deliberately sabotaged the electoral process because it was working to a predetermined, obnoxious, and nauseous conclusion. It's not about the system failing. It's about human beings electing on their own to sabotage a system. This is, if I switch off the TV screen behind you, it goes off. But it requires my intervention to go off.
When I don't hear how everything worked except INEC. INEC did not work. That was the only thing that did not work during the election. INEC, headed by who? Yakubu Mahmood. When I hear inside that video, I see him take share in explain, say how people there outside waited to vote, cast their vote, count it before going home. Some even ended by 1 a.m. the next day in the morning, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. just to make sure that they, carry out their civic responsibility to vote in an election. With all the promises where INEC don't tell us, say, hey, look, your vote, we can. Come out. We will transmit in real time. Everybody will see it. Everything will be clear to everybody. There will be no mago. And that was why people came out to vote and waited to cast their vote and count it. At the end of the day, Senate go, House of Rep go, glitch catch presidential election. When I hear that video, when he tell us, say, it's just like TV now. TV they on. You understand? For this TV to go off, somebody will go and do what? And turn it off. That was what happened on that election day. They turned off the whatever, the beavers or whatever that powers the beavers that were supposed to transmit presidential election. They turned it off and then say there was a glitch. And then they couldn't explain what kind of glitch that happened. Nigeria. I am so happy that everybody don't prove their case inside court. Trial is over. Judgment is what we are waiting for. So everybody now will not hear them now. They said they're not going to televise this trial, court proceedings. But social media don't help us. People like us, we don't summer on the news so that when I go, they follow up with waiting they happen. So as we are gearing towards the judgment, all of us now they are away waiting happen inside court. Let us now see how the judges will now attend to this case. Let's watch and see. Judgment is not far from us. So Nigeria, make we calm down. You understand? Melembe. Because at the end of the day, I truly believe that with what has happened inside that presidential election tribunal, that justice will be served. I go say on tomorrow. I beg. If you like this update, subscribe to my channel. I beg. Because Ejo. Da Allah. Subscribe.